and the mum's sort of still in her day, so it's very different.
It's incredibly dangerous.
I don't talk to them very much anymore. I used to train with them a lot, and mum's always at home. She knows my horses quite well. I have so much fun. He's, a great horse to take around there, and getting better and better.
For generations, the British royal family has mastered the art of composure in public. But even behind palace walls, some moments are too heavy to hide. When King Charles delivered a stunning announcement about royal titles, few expected the reaction that followed. Witnesses say Zara Tindall, known for her steady presence and quiet strength, was suddenly overcome with emotion. Tears, shock, and whispers quickly spread through royal circles. But what exactly did Charles reveal that struck so deeply? And why did this decision leave Zara visibly shaken? Behind the polished image of the British royal family, quiet changes often begin long before the public notices them. This year, whispers from inside the palace suggest Zara Tindall, the admired granddaughter of Queen Elizabeth II, may soon be stepping into a more visible role. The shift is said to be part of a wider plan taking shape under Prince William, who is quietly considering how the monarchy might evolve in the coming years. Zara Tindall is widely seen as one of the most relatable members of the royal family. As the daughter of Princess Anne, she grew up near royal life, but without a formal title or role. Instead, she built an independent life, gaining recognition as a successful equestrian and for her down-to-earth nature. However, palace insiders now suggest she may soon take on greater responsibilities within the monarchy. Though nothing is confirmed, many believe her growing public popularity could lead to a more visible role. Anne, now 75, is widely regarded as one of the hardest-working members of the royal family. For decades, she has maintained an intense schedule of engagements, charity work, and ceremonial appearances. However, those close to the family say that age and health realities are gradually prompting discussions about the future, especially when it comes to preserving the responsibilities and traditions Anne has carried for so long. One such tradition centers around the annual festival of 9 lessons and carols, connected with the mission to seafarers. Princess Anne currently serves as president of the organization, and has personally overseen the event for many years. For her, it represents more than a simple royal appearance. It is a cause she deeply cares about, honoring the often overlooked sacrifices of seafarers around the world. According to a source quoted by New Idea, Anne had already begun quietly involving Zara in preparations leading up to the most recent carol service. Rather than placing her immediately in the spotlight, Anne reportedly encouraged her daughter to observe and learn from the background. In essence, Zara was being asked to shadow her mother, watching how the event is planned, how guests are received, and how the responsibilities are managed. The goal, insiders say, was simple: to ensure that if the moment ever comes when Anne needs to step back, someone she trusts completely will be ready to carry on the work. Anne's health can sometimes be unpredictable, the source explained, so it makes sense to have Zara ready just in case. But the plan goes deeper than mere practicality. For Princess Anne, the idea is also deeply personal. Those close to her say she wants the tradition she values most to continue long after she is no longer able to lead it herself. Passing that responsibility to Zara would preserve those commitments while keeping them within the family's care. For Zara, stepping into such a role would mark a fascinating new chapter. It would not necessarily transform her into a full-time working royal overnight, but it would certainly bring her closer to the center of royal activity than ever before. If the reports are accurate, it may also signal a gradual reshaping of how the monarchy operates, with trusted family members like Zara quietly helping carry royal tradition into the future. Why did Zara Tindall burst into tears after King Charles made the announcement? Was she fine without a royal title? Let's delve into the story of the quiet royal. Zara Tindall holds a unique place in the royal family. As the daughter of Princess Anne and granddaughter of Queen Elizabeth, she belongs to the monarchy's inner circle. Yet she stands out because, despite those strong royal connections, she was never given a princess title. Within the British monarchy, titles like prince and princess are usually seen as markers of status and responsibility. But Zara's story quietly breaks that pattern. While many of her cousins grew up with royal titles attached to their names, Zara entered the world simply as Zara Phillips. Over the years, this unusual detail sparked endless conversations. Why wasn't she given the title of princess? Was it a deliberate family choice? And how did Zara herself feel about growing up without a royal title? For decades, these questions surrounded discussions about the modern royal family. Some assumed Zara might secretly wish she had been granted a title like her cousins. Others believed she missed opportunities that come with being officially recognized as a princess. Yet the truth remained largely unspoken until recently. In a moment that caught many royal followers off guard, Zara finally addressed the topic openly. Rather than expressing disappointment, she revealed something completely unexpected. According to Zara, not having a royal title has actually been a blessing. In her own words, she feels lucky. That simple statement sparked fresh discussion among royal observers and challenged the belief that royal titles automatically represent privilege. Without a royal title, she was able to shape her own identity, pursue her passions, and build a life that was not entirely defined by royal expectations. Her story reflects a more modern approach to royal life, where identity is shaped not only by tradition but also by personal choices and independence. What has been Zara's opinion about having a royal title? Does she really dislike having one? Let's find out. Zara is known for avoiding drama and attention. Rather than making bold public statements about royal life, she quietly earns admiration through her calm personality, warm humor, and grounded nature. But during a recent appearance on the 7 Rob Burrow podcast, Zara surprised many listeners by offering a rare glimpse into her personal story. The conversation was relaxed and friendly, yet at one point it touched on a subject that has always fascinated the public: royal titles. As the discussion turned to her childhood and what it was like growing up in the royal family, the question naturally came up about titles and status. Instead of giving a carefully measured answer, Zara responded with genuine laughter. Her reaction alone caught the host and many listeners off guard. Then she explained something that few people expected to hear. Rather than wishing she had been given a royal title, Zara said she actually feels lucky that she never had one. For many people around the world, that idea sounds almost unbelievable. Royal titles are often viewed as symbols of prestige, privilege, and admiration. From fairy tales to grand royal ceremonies shown on television, the image of a princess often appears magical and glamorous. Stories throughout history have painted royal life as something extraordinary. Princesses are imagined wearing beautiful gowns, living in grand palaces, traveling the world, and being admired wherever they go. Movies and books have only strengthened that image. But Zara's experience reveals a very different side of that story. Growing up as the daughter of Princess Anne and the granddaughter of Queen Elizabeth II, Zara was part of the royal world, yet she was raised without the official title of princess, a decision carefully made by her parents. Looking back now, Zara believes that choice changed her life for the better. Without a royal title attached to her name, she enjoyed a level of freedom that many royal children rarely experience. She did not carry the constant pressure of representing the monarchy in every moment of her life. Instead, she had the space to discover who she truly was. She could make her own choices, build her own identity, and pursue her passions without feeling completely defined by centuries of royal tradition. That freedom allowed her to focus on what she genuinely loved, especially sports. Over time, Zara built an impressive career in equestrian sports, eventually becoming an Olympic medalist. Her achievements were not simply the result of royal privilege. They came from years of dedication, discipline, and hard work. In many ways, her path showed she was determined to earn success on her own terms. For Zara, growing up without a title did not feel like something missing. Quite the opposite. It became one of the greatest advantages she could have had. It allowed her to live more normally, experience the world with fewer expectations, and discover her strengths without constant public pressure. According to Zara, that opportunity did not happen by accident. She credits it to the thoughtful decision made by her parents many years ago, a choice rooted in wisdom and a desire to let their children grow up as independently as possible. How did Zara get so lucky to be without a royal title? Whose decision was it to keep her off royal duties? Let's dive into the decision that helped define Zara's life. Zara Tindall's life without a royal title stems from her mother, Princess Anne's marriage to Mark Phillips. Long before Zara understood royalty, that marriage quietly shaped her future. As was customary, Mark Phillips was offered a prestigious aristocratic title. The offer was an earldom, one of the respected ranks within the British nobility. Had he accepted it, he would have become Earl Phillips, and that decision would have changed the future of his children. In the world of royal protocol, titles are more than decorative labels. They shape how people are addressed, what is expected of them, and how the public sees them. If Mark Phillips had accepted the earldom, his children with Princess Anne would automatically have been born into that titled status. Their lives would likely have been much more closely tied to the formal structure of the monarchy, but Mark Phillips surprised many people by declining the title. While it appeared to be a personal decision, it quietly changed the direction of his children's lives. The reason lies in rules introduced by King George V in 1917. Those guidelines carefully defined which members of the royal family would receive titles such as prince or princess. Because Mark Phillips chose not to accept the earldom, he remained a commoner rather than a titled nobleman. As a result, his children with Princess Anne were not automatically entitled to royal titles. Princess Anne fully supported the decision. Known for her practical approach to royal life, she preferred a simpler and more grounded upbringing for her family. With Queen Elizabeth's approval, the decision stood. When their children were born, first Peter Phillips and later Zara, they entered the world without the formal titles many had expected. To outside observers, it seemed unusual. They were direct grandchildren of the Queen. In many cases, children so close to the monarch might have received royal styles or noble ranks through their father. But this family chose a different path. Peter and Zara grew up simply as Peter Phillips and Zara Phillips, later Zara Tindall after her marriage. Looking back, many now see that decision as remarkably forward-thinking. Without formal titles, the children avoided many of the strict expectations that often come with royal status. Their lives were not as tightly controlled by palace tradition. They attended school, pursued careers, and built their own identities with far greater independence than many titled royals. For Zara, that freedom proved especially valuable. Rather than being defined only by royal connections, she carved out her own path. Over time, she earned respect because of her own achievements, especially in equestrian sport. Looking back on her upbringing, Zara has often reflected on how meaningful that decision truly was. The absence of a royal title did not take anything away from her life. If anything, it gave her the freedom to grow, explore, and become her own person beyond the expectations of the crown. What was growing up like for Zara? How was it being raised like every other person? Let's look at Zara's early life and the achievements that followed. Growing up free and achieving greatness. Zara Tindall spent most of her childhood at Gatcombe Park, a peaceful country estate surrounded by green fields and open land. It was there that she grew up alongside her older brother, Peter Phillips. Unlike the strict and highly formal life many people imagine royal children live, Zara's upbringing was surprisingly relaxed and grounded. Life at Gatcombe Park felt very different from the grand routines of royal palaces. There were fewer ceremonies, fewer official appearances, and far less pressure to behave like a public figure every moment of the day. Instead, Zara enjoyed a childhood filled with simple but meaningful experiences. She spent her days outdoors, exploring the countryside, running through open fields, climbing fences, and embracing the freedom that rural life naturally offered. While many people imagined royal children living behind palace walls, Zara's world was refreshingly different, and those early years helped shape the confident woman she would later become. Sports quickly became an important part of her everyday life. Zara loved being active and rarely stayed indoors for long. She enjoyed competing, challenging herself, and pushing her limits physically. Animals were also a constant presence around her, making life even more exciting for a young child growing up in the countryside. Every day brought a new adventure, and that active lifestyle built the determination that would later define her career. Among all these interests, however, one passion slowly began to stand out above the rest: horses. Horses were not just animals on the family estate, they were deeply woven into the family's history. Zara's parents were both skilled riders who had spent many years involved in equestrian sport. Watching them ride, train, and compete left a lasting impression on her from a very young age, inspiring her to dream about following in their footsteps. The stables at Gatcombe Park became a place where she felt completely at home. Yet even with that strong family influence, Zara did not simply follow the path laid out for her without effort. She understood that success in equestrian sport required far more than family connections. Riding at a professional level demands patience, courage, resilience, and intense discipline. Riders must train for many hours, develop strong partnerships with their horses, and face difficult competitions where even the smallest mistake can cost victory. Zara chose to take that challenge seriously, knowing that every achievement would have to be earned rather than handed to her because of her family name. From a young age, she committed herself fully to the sport. She trained regularly, worked closely with her horses, and slowly built the skills necessary to compete at higher levels. There were long days of practice, moments of disappointment, injuries, and many obstacles along the way, but she continued pushing forward with remarkable determination. Over time, her hard work began to produce clear results. Competition after competition, Zara improved her performance and earned respect within the equestrian world. People started to notice that she was not simply a member of a famous royal family. She was a serious athlete with genuine talent. Her greatest breakthrough came in 2006 when she achieved one of the most important victories of her career. Zara became the eventing world champion, a title that placed her among the very best riders in the world. The achievement brought her international recognition and confirmed that her years of dedication had truly paid off. But she did not stop there. Several years later, she had the opportunity to represent her country at one of the most prestigious sporting events on Earth, the 2012 Summer Olympics. Competing for Great Britain, Zara and her teammates delivered a strong performance in team eventing. Their hard work earned them a silver medal, a moment of pride not only for Zara, but for her entire nation. That victory placed her firmly among the world's top equestrian athletes. Yet what made her story even more remarkable was the way she achieved it. Zara did not compete under a royal title. She entered competitions simply as Zara Tindall, judged exactly the same way as every other rider standing beside her. Her journey became a powerful reminder that success does not come from privilege or status. Titles may attract attention, but they do not win competitions. Real achievement grows from dedication, persistence, sacrifice, and a deep love for what one does. Through years of effort, discipline, and passion for horses, Zara proved that identity is not defined by royal heritage. Instead, it is shaped by the choices people make, the work they put in, and the determination they show when pursuing their dreams. Why would Zara be getting a royal title now? How does the public feel about her new role? Let's talk about her perceived role even before the announcement. Today, Zara Tindall holds one of the most unique and intriguing positions within the modern British royal family. Her story stands out because it blends royal heritage with an unusually ordinary life, something rarely seen among those born so close to the throne. That rare balance has made her one of the monarchy's most relatable and widely admired figures. When Zara was born in 1981 to Princess Anne and Captain Mark Phillips, she entered the world as a direct grandchild of Queen Elizabeth II. At the time of her birth, she stood sixth in the line of succession to the British throne. That position alone placed her remarkably close to the center of the monarchy. However, the royal family continued to grow over the decades. As new children and grandchildren were born into the family, Zara's place in the line of succession gradually moved further down. Today, she stands somewhere around 22nd in line. While that may sound distant compared to where she once stood, it still places her among those with a genuine connection to the future of the crown. Yet one detail about Zara's life has always caught the public's attention. Despite being the granddaughter of a reigning monarch, she does not hold a royal title. Unlike many of her cousins, Zara is neither a princess nor a duchess. She is simply known by her name, Zara Tindall. To understand how unusual this is, it helps to look at the choices made by other branches of the royal family. For example, the daughters of Prince Andrew and Sarah Ferguson were both granted royal titles at birth. As a result, the world knows them as Princess Beatrice and Princess Eugenie. Similarly, the children of Prince Edward and Sophie, Duchess of Edinburgh, carry aristocratic titles. Their son is known as the Earl of Wessex, while their daughter holds the title of Lady Louise Windsor. Even in more recent years, titles have continued to play an important role within the royal family. In 2023, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle confirmed that their children would formally use royal titles. Their son is now known as Prince Archie, and their daughter carries the title Princess Lilibet. These different decisions show that each branch of the royal family has approached titles in its own way. But the path chosen by Princess Anne for her children was strikingly different. Rather than raising them as titled royals, she chose to give Zara and her brother the opportunity to grow up outside the strict framework of royal life. Without royal titles attached to their names, they were free to build careers, pursue passions, and live more independently than many of their royal relatives. Over time, this decision proved to be remarkably powerful. Instead of fading into the background, Zara became one of the most admired figures connected to the monarchy. Her success as a world-class equestrian athlete, including winning a silver medal at the Olympics, earned her respect far beyond royal circles. She became known not simply as a royal relative, but as a hardworking sportswoman and a devoted mother. Public opinion surveys have often reflected this admiration. In some polls, Zara has even ranked among the most popular members of the royal family, occasionally scoring higher in approval ratings than King Charles III himself. Much of this popularity seems to come from one powerful quality: authenticity. Without the formal duties and strict expectations that come with royal titles, Zara lives a life that many people find refreshingly relatable. She competes in sports, supports charities, attends public events when she chooses, and focuses deeply on her family life. In many ways, she represents a bridge between two worlds: the historic traditions of the monarchy and the modern values of independence and individuality. That balance is exactly why so many royal followers believe she remains one of the monarchy's greatest modern success stories. And that leads to an increasingly fascinating question about the future of the royal institution. For centuries, the monarchy has been built on hierarchy, titles, and clearly defined roles. Yet in today's world, the public often connects more strongly with figures who appear genuine, approachable, and grounded. Could it be that someone like Zara Tindall, often described as the princess who never was, actually represents a new model for royal relevance? As the monarchy continues to evolve under the reign of King Charles III, many royal watchers believe her story may offer a surprising glimpse into what the future of royalty might look like. What do you think? Should Zara Tindall take on a bigger role within the royal family if the opportunity arises? Or do you think she is better off continuing the independent life that has made her so admired? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss our latest royal stories. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.